Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. I am Deirdre Reardon Hall, and we are live this week after, as everyone probably knows who's on social media, last week's major Instagram and Facebook glitch. So, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Shai. Hey, Jen. This is Writers Uncut, our weekly broadcast with Shan Young, also a young adult author, and we talk about everything writing, publishing, and related. So she's going to join me in just a second. Oops, wait a minute, what did I do? Oh my gosh, I somehow flipped my screen. What's happening? What is going on? See, I always have technical problems. I swear, I'm not I'm trying to press view because she requested to be on this video and it's not, when I press view, it's flipping my screen. Why is this happening? Oh my gosh, I've somehow jinxed us. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. I'm pressing view. Hello. Will you request again? Maybe it's just goofy. I'm laughing, but this is so annoying. Why? I'm glad it's just the two of you right now because, it's less embarrassing. But, okay, can I add you? Yes, I can. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, it says waiting. Yay. I don't know. I don't know what's up with you, Instagram. You just don't like me. Hi.
Good morning.
God, so cute.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
You're adorable.
Okay.
You look adorable.
Thanks. I'm sick and I haven't washed my hair in a week.
Well, you always have good hair, so.
But if you haven't gone a week without washing your hair, can you even call yourself a writer?
It's kind of a prerequisite to be, every once in a while, a little unkempt.
Right. I mean, I am showering. I just like to put that out there. But when your hair is down to your butt like mine is, it's like I don't feel like washing and drying it every day.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jennifer. I actually made this myself. I have like 100 of them because
Really?
once I figured out how to make them, it was super easy. So I just made one out of all the fabric that I own.
Okay, so next Christmas, I want one, please.
Yes. I have some Harry Potter ones. I have all kinds.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I just so you guys know, I'm coming off of a week of being sick. So I'm sucking on cough drops, which is helping. But yeah, I'm so excited to be here, and it's probably best that we couldn't record last Wednesday because I was like really sick. So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, I'm glad you're in the Met, and I'm glad that we're here. We figured it out. Or Instagram only kind of tried to thwart us.
Right. So how are you? You look warm. Is it cold over there?
It's cold again. Yeah, we had like 2 days over the weekend of really nice weather, and now it's cold again. I'm like, come on,
Well, I don't know. You probably haven't seen on the news, but we have a power plant down here that's been on fire. So the sky has been like pitch black smoke for a few days now.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and everyone's like, should we even be breathing this air? But luckily I'm kind of a little north of it, so it's not as severe where we are, but down where my parents are is like very, very bad. It's like a big refinery town with refineries everywhere. So yeah, scary.
Fun times.
Yeah, but our weather's doing okay. It's kind of warm. I don't know. I have all my windows open. There you are. No, you're freezing again. Why?
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb calls from my husband. So, did it just pause?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. And he knows that we're doing this right now. So, anyway, I wanted to tell you something really exciting. That's totally unrelated to Writers Uncut and anything that anyone that's watching is cares about right now. Maybe they'll care about it someday. But I thought of a a motive and a hook for our collaboration that we're gonna do someday.
Oh, no way. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
You got to email me immediately.
I'm like, it is so dark and so bad, and
Oh, I love it.
I was like, yes, this is part of that story. I think. So
Awesome.
I wrote myself a note because, as you know, if I don't write it down, I'll forget. And yeah, so
Very cool.
that's coming to you.
So, do we want to do our personal updates real quick and then we can get on to our questions?
Yeah, let's do it because we have a few questions this week, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, so give us your personal update because I know you've been busy.
So I'm super, super excited because today's Wednesday. As of Friday, I'm going to start writing my new project. So it like dawned on me today that it's almost here because I've been doing a lot of, I'm super busy. I'm doing a lot of freelance writing and I've been writing my butt off for months, but this is the first time in several months that I get to start on a new manuscript for myself that's mine, that I get to send to my agent and hope that we get it published. So I'm very excited and I'm just like all giddy to get to start this because it has been so long since I've written anything for myself because, to pay the bills, I have to do a lot of freelance writing. So, and that's boring and I don't like it, but I do it. So I've been sitting here kind of daydreaming and I think I might head to the coffee shop or something. I don't know, like I want to get in the mood to write a new book for myself.
Do you write in coffee shops? Because I don't
know
you.
No, I don't. But because it's like, y'all know I write on my bike desk and it's like I have this routine for my day job, freelance writing, as I wake up early, make some coffee, write my butt off till lunchtime, and it's just very meticulous and like businesslike.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited to start this new manuscript for myself. I was like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna head to a coffee shop and just kind of like really enjoy it because it's been so long. Like, guys, it's been about a year since I have written something for myself. So I'm like very, very excited. And I'm so excited for this new book idea. I cannot wait to start it.
So two things. I love that you're mixing it up because we do get a lot of questions about like our process and outlining and like, how to just get started. And sometimes, especially if you are either, from either end of the spectrum, you've been doing this for ages or you're just getting started, sometimes always creating a routine can really help you become disciplined and everything, but it can also, over time, you can feel in a rut or stagnant or whatever. And I love that you're open to mixing it up and trying something new and
right.
Get some creative juices flowing. And you might end up back at your bike desk, but I think it's.
And I probably will.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, just because it's almost like a little vacation. I feel really excited about getting to start this book for myself because this is me writing something that's not guaranteed to make any money. I don't know if it's going to sell or not. And because I've been doing so much freelance writing for so long because the bills have to get paid somehow. And that isn't very important to be disciplined and wake up every day and sit at my office and work. Yeah. But it's like, this is something I'm doing for me. So yeah, I kind of want to hit up. We have this local coffee shop that's really cute. It's like a mom and pop place. So I'm gonna probably do that for like a week or so. I don't know. We'll see. I have this problem with having to wake up and get dressed and look like a decent human being, so I may not do it for very many days.
You may have to wash your hair.
I know. It's like you have to like go out in public. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. And it's like, I just kind of wanted to change it up and just really get in the vibe of this new book idea because I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait to start writing it. Yeah.
So my other question is, excuse me, a fuzzy just floated by. I'm not like pawing at you guys. Did you outline it?
Not yet. Okay. So that's what I'm starting. Yeah. So basically, I'm starting the outline, and then I'll start writing it. I usually give myself a day or two to do an outline, but I have a synopsis. Okay. So I have about a 2-page synopsis. So I really know everything that's going to happen. I just haven't made that full detailed outline yet. So, but I'm excited.
Chewy, there's a lot of activity happening over here. Chewy.
You need a basket of treats like I have right here. So when my dog comes up, I just toss her one.
He had all his treats today. He's like this big, so like his treats are like this, like he was never able to be trained using treats because he loses interest so fast. Like we brought him to like puppy kindergarten, and we're sorry, like our usual methods don't work, and we ended up using like a little swipe of baby food on her finger, and like even that over time it was just like his tummy's so little that the good thing is, but well, I'm really really excited about this new project for you, and I want you to keep us updated. And I'm actually really curious to see if your outlining process changes at all, because you're kind of mixing up the whole process.
Right, for sure. So what is your update?
My update is I am 3 chapters away from being done with the first draft of a book for my pen name, which I am so excited about. I was kind of getting burned out a little bit because I'm also doing this like rapid, just constant writing program. And for some reason, unexpectedly, because these characters are kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse. One's a cowboy, one's like a proper British woman, and like
Ooh, I like both of those things.
But I like they're out of my wheelhouse, and I was like, I don't really know any cowboys, but it does take place.
Hold on one second.
Okay. I'll just keep talking. What is that?
It's my daddy.
Oh my gosh! That's so sorry, guys. I'm like looking up close, but that is awesome. Oh my, he's like
he was a bona fide cowboy. These were taken a year before I was even born. I'll send you guys a picture. I recently uploaded them and had them printed out on these massive canvases to hang on my walls, and they're very cool. So yeah, so cool. I can answer your cowboy questions.
If I have any questions, yeah. I've been doing a lot of internet research, but I love that, and I did end up putting it to having part of the story at least taking place in Texas as a little
very cool.
But anyway, yeah. So that's been going well. I should wrap that up today, and then it's like revisions and edits, and it's like it's funny because as you very well know, and other writers might be able to understand, or new writers might be interested in hearing this, it's like you write the story and it's like this major hurdle is cleared, and it feels like such a huge accomplishment, and then there's like 5 more 10 more that you have to keep going, but it feels good, and I'm excited to be done with that. And then I have 2 more projects after that, and then 2 more projects after that, and then I have a new idea of my own that's percolating, that I'm kind of excited about, some paranormal romance for my traditional name that we'll see. So
you'll probably feel the same way I do, because both of us, like, we have these 2 separate lives. We have our selves who are writing for publication to see our books on the bookshelves, and then we have our freelance writer selves that have to pay the bills. And so it's like, we write so much, but I'm not in love with these projects. I'm in love with my own project that I hope will get publishers. So it's like, I cannot describe how unbelievably excited I am to get started on this new book. So, and I'm a little scared because I keep thinking, what if I forgot how to write a book? But it's like, I know how to write a book. I've literally been doing it for months, but it's like, it's not my stuff. This is my stuff. And I want it to be good. And I feel a lot of pressure to have a book like be as good as Sasha was, if not better. So it's like a little nerve-wracking, but I'm very, very excited.
Well, I think when you allow yourself to open up into that space of a passion project, which is what we call it, versus, the books that we write to kind of pay the bills, as you've been saying, I think you tap into it kind of a little bit of a different stream of creativity. And yeah, you didn't forget how to write. You're gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so good.
Awesome. I plan on like binge reading a whole bunch of my favorite books, like 5 or 6 books in a few days, just to remind myself what a book is supposed to look like.
Yes.
So I'm very, very excited.
Funny quick story, and then we'll get to the questions. I hope, Jen, you're still with us, because you had 2, and I know Matt, I don't think he's here, but he had one. So my younger daughter recently got really into Twilight, which I was big into. You were big into, and it was one of the things that
still big into.
No shame in that. No shame in that at all. I actually have a group of friends that we really, like, our lives were centered around that, and we still text each other pretty much every day, and probably at least once a month, not more often, Twilight somehow comes up in conversation, and this has been going on for like
every day,
10 years.
Yeah,
but
I've got Stephanie Meyer's autograph right next to me,
and your dad's rodeo photos on the other side.
Yeah,
I love that.
They're not normally here. I found them. Like, I found them cleaning out stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna blow these up because they look so cool. My dad was so cool. He's still cool.
I love that. You have to talk more about him on, when we're chatting. When one of those days when we go to a writer's retreat together.
Yes.
So anyway, so my younger daughter got really into Twilight recently, and of course, she read all the books, she binge read them, reading them again, we watched the movies, and what you were saying about reading a whole bunch of books to kind of to feed into your creativity and your love of writing, that's such a real thing. And we've talked
Hmm.
about being careful not to read books while you're writing one that's like about the same thing. Like that's different than what I'm talking about, what you're talking about, where you find that inspiration, you find that magic, and as a writer, when you're reading a book that's really well done that you connect with, you kind of see those little sparks of magic, and it feeds something into it. Like, I swear I'm sounding totally crazy right now, but it's really a cool thing, and I do that too.
Yeah.
You emailed me that you were going to do that, and I don't know if I replied, I probably didn't, but I meant to say, like, yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's special, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like preparing yourself to go
yeah,
out and I don't know, but there's something special, and it's
yeah,
like I will
yeah,
read new books, and then I'll read my favorites,
yeah,
my the ones that always make me happy, and it's like it
yeah.
just gets you ready to write a novel yourself. So, which everybody says, to be a writer, you have to be a reader. So,
Mhm.
I firmly, firmly believe in that.
It's kind of like
So,
if you're preparing for a marathon or to climb a mountain, you would be doing all this training, and it's kind of like that. Yeah.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, do we want to go to,
Yes.
how about we do Jennifer's questions first, and then Matt might get on later?
Okay, sounds good. Do you have them in front of you? Because I do if you don't.
Yeah, I have them open.
Okay. Do you want to read the
Yes.
first one?
Okay, so Jennifer said, how do you set realistic writing goals, both in the day-to-day, word counts, etc., and the career length?
I
I kind of
don't.
want to laugh and say realistic. None of my goals are realistic, lady. Um, I shoot for the stars. Um, no, okay, so actually, Jen, since you're here, if you could clarify what you mean by career length writing goals.
I
Um,
while she's
because,
getting to that, I do have a thought.
okay.
Unless you're going to say something.
Well, I was going to say, so my realistically, and this really helps a lot, is because you've probably heard me talk about it. I plan out how long it's going to take me to write a book, and I put it in my planner, and so I know it's going to take me this many days or weeks to write this book. But for realistic purposes, because I know I can write about 5,000 words a day, no problem. Realistically, I always schedule in a day, at least one day a week that I call an off day. And
Mm-hmm.
if I can write on that day, I write, because you never know when you might have an off day. Because like last week, I got super sick, and there was like 3 days where I didn't do anything. And because I had that little buffer of off days to play with, I was able to catch up and still meet my
Yeah.
goals. So realistically, I like to plan out the starting day and the finishing day of when I'm going to get this project written. But I add in some days off, because you just never know when life is going to happen. So that's
Yeah.
my one answer for that part.
That's like very pretty much the same as what I was going to say. Building in some buffers, and sometimes if I know like I have an appointment on a day or we're doing this, I'll like actually I can probably just show you here. I have my calendar right in front. So right there, like on Monday, I knew my schedule was totally open, and so I put in 3 little squares with my chapters, and I nailed them. I got them done. It's all good. That was a push day. But then then today, Wednesday, I only put 2 chapters, like, because we're doing this. I have, one other thing going on today. It's like, probably I'm not going to get it all done. And that way, if time does open up, I could maybe get one more chapter in, but like basically the same thing. But I do make sure to write it all down. And I know you do too. I think that's really important, just to have the satisfaction of crossing it off. But
Oh, yeah.
also over time, you'll see with your experience, and it does vary book to book. If I'm writing about cowboys, I'm gonna have to pause more and find out information. But if I'm writing like straight contemporary romance, like I can probably just keep going. But I do think you do learn kind of what you're capable of in a day, and if you do have distractions, like, okay, well, I can come back to it later, or no, that's going to be shelved until tomorrow, whatever. So it's kind of an unfolding process over time. Yeah. So then she clarified, like, the kind of goals you can set for yourself that are way into the future. So
I read a lot of writing craft books. because I feel like being constantly improving your writing skills and your writing ability will help in the future. I stay really up to date on everything publishing industry related. Oh my God. I glanced up and it looked like someone was strangling you. Like I did not realize your own hand was touching your neck because I was looking at my computer and then I looked up and I was like, what's happening? Anyway, I'm sick, you guys. This isn't my fault. So, yeah, it's like, do I have to call 911? Okay, so for career length goals, I don't even know. Do I set career length goals, or do I just kind of hope and pray that I'm still going to have a career in the future? I do practice a lot on writing craft. I read a lot. I like to attend conventions and workshops and just be constantly learning more about writing, which I feel like will always help me in the future. And I do, as far as writing goes, I do usually know the projects I want to work on a few years in advance. Like I have this one, I have a couple more ideas, so I've got my next year and next year's book. At some point, you and I are going to collaborate on something. So that's kind of, a not very good answer for career length goals. Just I never give up, and I'm just always trying.
Yeah.
And mostly I'm just winging it. So
yeah, I think my one of my career goals is to make the New York Times bestsellers list. Like that's pretty audacious, but I'm just throwing it out there because why not? And that's a major career goal. But my other career goal is to create a sustainable income, like until past retirement, because this isn't the kind of job that's really necessarily doesn't require like me to have healthy hips or anything, or I guess sitting, but I've been finding a lot of body aches, but you know what I mean, like it doesn't necessarily mean I have to retire. So I am looking at the long term in terms of that. So to connect A to Z, present to the future, I do have my pen name books planned out probably till next year. And I just keep a document where I write down ideas, and I have series ideas that I kind of keep track of, and then I just have random ideas that come up. It's just kind of like the potpourri of things that might become something, might not, and kind of just keep a document with all of that. And then for my traditional stuff, which we've talked a lot about, like writing to market and traditional writing are two different animals. You can catch up on our other YouTube videos if we're answering Jen's question, so what that is. But if you're not familiar, you can look into that. But for those, to be honest, my ideas kind of just float in, and I pick them up, turn them over, think about them, maybe for a couple days, maybe for a couple years. There have been a few that I hung on to and kind of slowly, unraveled over time. And yeah, so with that, that piece, more creative, the more creative side of me comes into that with less structure and less planning. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, and I don't know if that answers your question or not, but there you have it.
Well, I thought of another thing. A lot of it when thinking about career-wise as a writer, a lot of it is mental. And I do like to remind myself of how far I've already come and how long it's already been, because everything takes so long in this world. And for some people, it might take them a couple years to even finish their manuscript. So everything takes so long, and it does help to keep it in perspective, because I always tell myself that the time will pass anyway.
Yes.
It's this next year, this month, and the next 5 years are going to pass, knock on wood, if you live that long, hopefully. So it's like the time's going to pass anyway. So just keep working toward it, because I can, it's already been 13, 14 years where I used to sit there and daydream about having my own book on the bookshelves at Barnes & Noble. And it took about 12 years to actually see that happen. Mm-hmm. So it's it really helps to think about how, had I not kept going and kept persisting and working toward these goals, they would have never happened. And it may seem like it's going to take forever, and it will literally take forever for everything you do in publishing. will take forever, but that time's going to pass anyway. So you just kind of have to keep that in perspective and just keep working and keep trying and just keep aiming toward that future, because you don't want to say, oh, forget it. 5 years from now, you could have become a multi-huge best-selling New York Times best-selling author, and you're not because you quit. So keep that in perspective too when it comes to career-wise. Also, live very frugally, because we don't make a lot of money as writers. If you want to do this for a long time, be as cheap as possible.
Yeah, that's a really good one. As we've both learned, there's that. Yeah. There will come a time, hopefully for everybody, where you're like, oh, I'm making some good money, and then maybe not. And then it's just another part of that roller coaster.
Yep.
So we hope that answered your question, Jen. Do you want to read her other one?
Yes. So her next question is, what do y'all think about contests like Pitch Wars?
Oh, yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure. So there's a whole bunch of online contests. A lot of them happen on Twitter, I've noticed. Pitch Wars, PitMad, I think is one.
PitMad.
Trying to think of hashtag.
Those are the only two I can think of. But yeah.
But I think there are like one or two more. Maybe they're less popular. Maybe they don't run anymore. I don't know. But back years ago, I participated in a few of them, and I think the ones where if your book is selected and you end up getting a mentor team or just a single mentor, and you can work on the book together and revise and kind of perfect, I think you can gain a lot of insight from that collaboration. DV Pit, there's a few. And I think it's really useful, especially if you're pursuing, even if you're independently published, but especially if you're pursuing traditional publishing, is to become familiar with the act of working, like allowing other people to look at your work and to be comfortable with that, and toughen your skin up in terms of them picking it apart and being like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And I say that with one little caveat. Usually in these contests, the people are vetted and they have experience. It's a totally different story if you give, your book, your manuscript to your best friend, and they're like, I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't listen to that. Don't listen to those critics. But when someone is experienced in your genre and they, have editing experience and all that stuff, then you can trust that their advice and their insights are something to listen to. And so I think in terms of that, I think it's really, really useful. In terms of getting an agent, if you're one of the lucky few, then awesome. Awesome for you. But I do think it can become kind of a little bit of a hamster wheel, if you will, participating in the contests. And I kind of found myself getting caught up in that, like this sort of like this contest of being selected and, placing my book's value on that piece of it, which is not necessarily healthy, because I'm sure there's so many manuscripts that are wonderful that just don't get picked because there's a limited amount. And so just be wary of that. I'm never one for, not in real high school and not in modern day, where it's like, this is the cool kids table and only a few people get to sit here. Like, no. I'm so against that. Like, my table, everyone can come join it, no matter, your beginner, experienced, seasoned writer, whatever. And so, so those are my 5 cents.
So, these contests, I think they are like solely on Twitter. I might be wrong. Just to give kind of a recap of what I know about it, is it's like it'll be a specific day, and everyone pitches their book in like a short 1 or 2 sentence pitch with the hashtag. And agents and editors will be reading through it, and whichever books they will like the tweet. And if they like the tweet, then you're supposed to query them or send them your manuscript, because that means they're interested in looking at it. Yeah. So these things were made as kind of like a quick speed dating type thing for unpublished writers to get an agent or to get published, because I think sometimes publishers will participate too. I feel kind of like an old person, because this got really popular not too long ago, and I'm still stuck in the old days of querying, where you only email, so like I've never participated in any of these pitch wars or contests or anything. And when I did look into it, I felt like, and it's a lot of what you said, like it's a lot of it is kind of a popularity contest, and I would rather fail privately between me and the hundreds of agents I queried instead of publicly on Twitter. So because I'll see people posting and their tweet doesn't get any likes, which it's very brutal. It's very hard. Like not everyone's going to get likes. It's just the same as querying. You're not going to get a request to read the manuscript, and it just makes me feel so bad and so like ugh, like I didn't want to try. I didn't want to put myself out there. I didn't want to be faced with the overwhelming rejection. So I didn't participate in them at all. But for pitch wars, and I'm going to sound really bad saying this, I don't know too much about it, except that I signed up to be a mentor this year. So I'm very excited because I have some friends who are mentors and they were like, you should totally do this. So yeah, so and they're still sending out the information, so I don't have it all yet. But from what I am aware of so far, because I've kind of watched it from the sidelines last year, is aspiring authors will pitch their books and their manuscripts, and mentors like me, which are usually, like you said, make sure they're vetted, because almost anyone can sign up to be a mentor. And they may not know what they're talking about. And I will say right here, I'm not the most genius writer in the world, but I know a lot, and I feel qualified to at least pick a manuscript that I feel that I can help improve and that I can give quality advice to. So the mentors are kind of act like pseudo agents, and we will pick books that we want to represent. And hey, Matt, you're here. We're going to answer your questions soon. So we will pick a book that we want to represent, and then we will mentor that author and help them get their book in tip-top shape. And then agents will look at books. So that's kind of what I know about it. Again, I'm still kind of ignorant to all the rules because I'm brand new. I just got on the list, and they said they will be sending us mentor information soon. But I think that's really cool, like what you said, because it's an opportunity for aspiring writers to get, you know, like beta reader, critique partner feedback, and just feedback and good quality feedback to make their manuscripts really sing for when they go forward to an agent. And if you don't already have a critique group, it can be a really great opportunity. So I'm super excited to help out. I'm going to be looking for young adult contemporary stories because that's where my heart is. And, you know, I'm just really, really excited. So because I almost love beta reading more than I love writing my own books, because like it's a really fun experience when you're looking at someone else's book from the outside. You can kind of help make it better. Yeah. Whereas when you're in your own book, like I don't see the flaws or, you know, the plot holes or inconsistencies because in my head it all makes sense. I'm just too close to it. Yep. So to answer her question, what do we think about them? I think the Twitter pitch contests are just kind of like, if you want to do it, go for it. I was too scared and I didn't even want to try. But I think things like pitch wars where you can get actual critique and feedback are super fun and super exciting, and I cannot wait to participate. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So. That's awesome.
I'll add one thing to the Twitter pitch ones where you have to kind of write your log line or whatever you want to call it into like, more than 140 characters now, right, on Twitter, but right. Like distill it down into this little short thing that those contests that I'm talking about, which I'd forgotten about. One other thing that I will say to be careful of if you're new, I have like a big list of reputable agents and all that stuff for querying, but there are some duds out there for sure, and there's a website called Writer Beware, I believe, that actually has a list of—
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
And I don't know how often it's updated, but if you are participating, just a word of caution, and you get a like from an agent or a publisher, just make sure you look into whether or not they're reputable, whether they are experienced, and all that stuff that you would probably do anyway, but anyone can like and request your material, and they're not necessarily—
Well, yeah, and it really angers me because a lot of vanity publishers have been jumping onto these contests, and it's Victoria Stroff. You can follow her on Twitter. And she maintains Writer Beware, and she keeps it pretty up to date. She's an angel in the publishing community. A lot of vanity publishers will go through and be liking people's tweets and pitches, and they get all excited and think they're getting a publishing deal. And then people will post these on the Facebook groups, like, I got offered a book deal. I only have to pay $12,000 to get my book published. And it's like, no, run away. Like, even if you are just made of money and can spend that much money, your book is going to be a fraud. Like, this is not a real book. no one's going to read it, and you're just giving money to scammers. So absolutely vet the people who request your book, because I think with these contests, and I have definitely been there as an aspiring author, like you want so badly for someone to say yes, because all you get is rejections thrown in your face constantly, that you might just rush and jump the gun and say, oh, awesome, I've got this new agent or publisher, but really make sure that they're legit.
Yeah.
And definitely cross-check them with that website, or search their name and the word scam and like see what happens. So yeah, that's a really good warning for us to put out.
And related, the hashtag MSWL, the manuscript wish list hashtag, I noticed also people that, from wherever they're coming from, I don't know, they've been jumping on there as well. So just be careful. Do your research, make sure it's someone that you're comfortable working with and all that stuff. So we have another question from Matt, who I think joined us, right? He's still here?
Yep, I think he's here.
Okay, so I'll read that one. Hi, hope you guys are well. Thank you. We are.
We're not. I'm sick. I'm halfway well.
And my wrist is wonky. We've been talking about wrist pain lately, and neck pain from writing so much. So take care of yourselves, writers. But anyway, do you think agents/publishers and readers are more attracted to a book series? There seems to be a lot out there, and they are popular. So I think we both have a lot of thoughts on this.
Oh, I have so many thoughts. And a lot of my thoughts are very opinionated too, because that's the kind of person I am. You notice, do you think like readers are attracted? And this really annoys me, because I almost think like almost all readers love series. I personally don't like them that much. So I'm like always against the norm here. I like to just one and done. I like to read a good story and then move on to the next one. And that's, not 100%, because there are some series that I absolutely adore. But I think this is a really interesting question, and I almost think, dare I say it, of being very cocky here, I have the perfect answer for it. But I'm going to talk in a circle till I get there. So the old advice, which is still good advice, is that if you're going to be querying a book to an agent or publisher, make sure that your book is a well-rounded, fully finished, complete story arc, plot. It's a good standalone by itself novel that has series potential. So if you want it to be a series, it can become a series, but don't submit some cliffhanger that it can't be finished unless it has a next book to an agent or publisher, because they don't want that. They will, so you know what I mean? So if you want it to be a series, it still has to be a solid story on its own. It has to stand on its own. Secondly, I would almost say probably they are attracted to series, because there are so many freaking series out there. But it also depends on your genre. For young adults, I feel like, yes, series are very popular. But I would also be wary and not purposely try to write a series, because the publishing industry is very hard right now, and I have known several authors who get series deals and then they get dropped after book 2 or book 3 because their sales just aren't good enough. So it's really a catch-22, and the advice around to is what agents and publishers are looking for 100%. They want this just super well written, fantastic, and they don't care if it's series. Write that book, and if it's meant to be a series, it will be. So I wouldn't focus too much on writing a standalone or a series. Just write something super awesome. That's my advice. Oh, I can't hear you.
You pretty much said everything that I would have said.
There you are.
Oh, can you hear me now? You kind of said it. And then, but if your story does have series potential, which those are the magic words, highlight them, underline them, and you're writing a fully fleshed out, like Cheyenne said, act 1, 2, 3, everything wraps up at the end, can leave little openings for that series. You can plant things. Obviously, you can probably think of tons of series that this first book, it ended, it wrapped up, everything nice and neat in a bow, but there were pieces, there were threads that the author then pulled into the next book. So that's kind of, I feel like I'm
You're
freezing right
you're
now.
like
Am I freezing?
your voice isn't
Hello?
matching up with your face.
Why? All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I think readers love series for the most part, except for Cheyenne. And agents and editors at publishing houses are probably also interested, but make sure that you kind of bookend your book. Um, you know, it's just can stand alone if that's all they want. But then if they're like, yeah, you're awesome, we love your book, we're gonna make this a 9-book epic adventure, then you leave that open in the
Exactly. And I think, and if you're watching, you can leave your answer in the comments. I think almost everybody prefers series except for me. Like I'm the one left out here, but I don't want to commit to a book that I don't know. And sometimes if a whole series is already published, then I'll happily read them all. But like right now, we're reading Holly Black's The Cruel Prince series, and the second book came out, and it ended on a massive cliffhanger because she's Holly Black and she can do that. And the next book doesn't come out for over a year, so I'm like really pissed off that I read it. So I'm not big into series, but I think for young adult novels, like you can't throw a book in a bookstore without hitting a series. So if you're inclined to write series, then I would definitely go for it because that seems to be the most popular thing right now. But yeah, make sure you've got a full, wholly wrapped up, can stand on its own. If someone reads it, they would be fine not getting a sequel book. But yeah, the way that people love series just annoy me because like I get every single book I've written, I get emails. So are you writing another one? When's the next one coming out? I'm like, this is a standalone. There's not going to be a next one.
Well, Matt just put up, Jen said, I prefer an awesome standalone too. And then Matt says, I'm the same, rarely dip into a series. So I'm the one in the minority here because I do love series. But I want to add one more thing, and we're kind of coming up on an hour soon. So if anyone has any other questions, pop them in there now, please. But I will say, if you're writing traditional, we kind of were answering the question on that side. But if you're writing to market, there are 2 different ways you can do a series. You can do a series with, your one character, your 2 characters, and they, that you're at liberty. You can do whatever you want, and they can just follow their lives and their adventures or whatever. But you can also do a series where you have, your main character, and then there's another character in that first book, and then you tell their story in the next book, and you kind of keep doing that, kind of like hopping from stone to stone to cross a stream. So you're not like each of the books within the series can stand alone, but they all intertwine, and I actually do that a lot with my pen name stuff. So
that's a really good point. Yeah, if you're self-publishing, writing companion novels, for sure, and that's very, very popular. And it's this kind of fun way to be able to write a bunch of standalones, but they're all based on like the same group of friends or the same people that go to the same high school or same town. So it's still a series, and then the readers that love series will love that because they see little cameos from other books, but you still get to write a standalone story. So yeah, I do prefer that. If I'm going to write a series, that's what I'd want to do.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah. Sandhya Menon did that with the When Dimple Met Rishi series. Yeah. Good example. So thanks guys for the questions this week. They were great. I really appreciate that. And thanks for joining us. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No. We had a good episode this week after missing last week, thanks to stupid Instagram.
Only a few technical difficulties this week.
That's why we're uncut, you guys.
We are uncut. My hair's washed, your hair's not washed, but we just show up. And that's what you have to do. You have to just keep showing up with your hair and writing, no matter rain or shine, clean hair, dirty hair, cold, not cold, wrist that doesn't seem to want to work.
I am going to start this new trend where I'm an Instagram influencer of not trying to look perfect and amazing all the time. Like, just being my real pajama wearing self. I mean, you guys, I tried hard today. I actually put on a shirt because I was wearing like this old pajama shirt with paint stains all over it. So, Yeah, like we're writers, and writers are not glamorous, and some writers are glamorous, but most of us aren't. So I'm just going to be this new influencer, and I'm going to be sponsored by the cheap off-brand of coffee at my local grocery store, and I
Keeping
guess
it
that's it.
real.
Yeah. But thanks
Um,
for watching us, guys. Thanks,
yeah.
Matt and Jen, for the questions. Actually, it occurs to me now, I always call Jennifer Jen, even though I think she just goes by Jennifer. So sorry. Um,
Sorry, Jennifer.
but you can find us on Facebook at Writers Uncut Group, and we talk and chat and post about the episodes or whatever. You can also find old episodes on YouTube. Just search Writers Uncut and watch our old episodes and subscribe to us and all that good stuff. And thank you so much for watching. Oh, yay, she said she does go by Jen. Awesome.
Okay, good, good. Well, we'll see you next week. Cheyenne will be hosting on her Instagram. It'll be smooth sailing, no problems. And leave us your questions, email them, DM them, whatever you want to do, and we will do our best to answer.
Yep.
I hope you
Bye.
feel better. Bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye.